Hello, this is Mrs. Neubauer, and let's work on our penmanship. Everybody keeps telling me I have small handwriting, but I just don't see it. Hope you're doing good today. Our lesson goal for number 6 is to learn how to write the letters I, U, and W. So these are what we have for our undercurves. So I'm going to just show you basically before we start our writing. We'll do a little warm-up. So remember our undercurves we've been practicing. So we're going to go up, and then you go down, and then curve at the bottom. And you go up and down and curve at the bottom. And the same thing. So basically, all you're doing is for I is doing it once, for U you're doing it twice, and for W you do it 3 times. And then you have your little exit stroke. Okay? So undercurves are it's going to be a quick lesson. We'll have 3 letters we're going to practice. So let's do warm up first. Remember, you can use your warm-up sheet to do your ovals and your circles. That helps to warm up, but let's just do it with our hands right now. So we'll do some undercurves, all right? So we're undercurve, 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 undercurve. So our fingers, get those fingers warmed up. You want to get bigger and bigger and bigger. All right, so let's get those fingers and hands warmed up. That's the most important part. Okay, and then we're doing some dots of the eye, dots of the eye, dots of the eye, dots of the eye, and just do some exit strokes. Okay, so your warm-up can be either with your hands in the air like I do, or you can do some right on our paper. It's up to you. Okay, I'm going to switch camera, so we're going to get started.
Okay, and if you haven't already, make sure you're giving me L. You have your head straight, ears are right above your shoulders, back straight, and your hands flat on your surface. So make sure you're giving me L. Remember, giving me L. Okay, so if you haven't already, make sure you have number 6 undercurves, lowercase letters I, U, and W. Basically, we're going to do the same thing as we've been doing, trace over letters by staying in the lines, and then try some on your own. Okay, so we're doing a really good job with our cursive. It's a little bit, I think this is going to be our next lesson where, let's see, this is our 4th lesson of letters. So hopefully you're getting a little bit more familiar with the curving and understanding. So I know when students start looking at print letters, they have, oh, I get it now. But cursive, we don't see a lot of cursive, so cursive is a little bit harder, especially if you're in mind to get used to, because you can't just go and pick up a book off your bookshelf and see cursive. So you might want to, if you want to practice cursive, maybe you could have your parent or maybe a different family member write cursive, and you can see them and see how they write their cursive. So that's always good to do. Okay, so let's start with I. So we're going to undercurve up and then undercurve down. So it's going to be 3 strokes. So I'm going to start off with our curve on the baseline, go up to the dash center line, and then our second, which we don't usually pick it up, but we're just doing it for our example. And then our dot goes right in the center of the dash line to the top line. Okay, so let's practice. I have about 4 or 5 for each one, and then we'll practice connecting them. So you can trace over mine, and then remember your fingers, you're holding it like a triangle. Good habits, we got to have good writing habits. Establishing the muscles in our fingers. Remember, we have muscle memory, so you're doing the eyes I created, and then you're going to create some on your own. So remember, don't lift your pen. You're going to go up, touch that dash line, come down, curve, and curve out. And eventually, we're going to connect and make words when we get through all 26 letters of the alphabet. Okay, so let's try one on our own. Remember, curve, come down. You're going to come up straight, hit that dash line. You're going to go back over the line, curve, and come down. So it's almost symmetrical, almost symmetrical. And then the dot goes into the center of the top. Good. Try another one. All the way up straight, curve down, and and stop. Okay, so just like we always do, you can pause the video, continue your eyes, and then hit play and you can start on the U with me. Okay, so U is basically, we're doing that same up at the beginning, the same entrance stroke as we start, entrance. And you're going to touch that dash line. And the same thing with the I, you're coming down, but this time we're going to touch the bottom and come back up nice and straight. And the third one, you're coming straight down and touching. So I separated them so you can see what it looks like, but you're going to do it all together. So don't pick up your pen between each of our curves. So under curve up, under curve down and back up, under curve down. And the space is probably about 3 dashes. So you don't want it too wide, but you want it wide enough where it looks like a U. So that's something else to think about. As we do our letters, they're all about the same width within, 3 of the dashes on our large paper. Okay. And the last one, trace with me. Under curve up, straight, straight, under curve down, under curve up, straight, under curve down. Good, lots of under curves. Alrighty, so we tried 4 with me and try some on your own. So give a little space. Alright, under curve, touch the baseline, straight up. Nice and slow, keep your pen down or pencil. Under curve down, touch the baseline, straight up. And under curve down, curve and stop. Alrighty. And try one more. Under curve up, touch the dash line, stop. Under curve down, nice and straight. Touch the dash line, stop. Okay. So you can pause the video and finish your U's, or we can start on the W. Okay, so the W actually looks like a W. I know when we had print, the W looked like a double V, but for cursive, it's a little different. Okay, so we got lots of stuff going on. We're going to have one entrance stroke up, just like we've been doing for our I and our U. Then we're going to have that down, curve, and come back up. And we got to do another one. Down, curve, back up, and the exit stroke. So this one, just like the O, when we finished our O, it's going to end at the top. And then if you can look down at the bottom, second to the bottom row, it's going to stay up and start the next letter. So some letters have that exit stroke that stays up. It doesn't go all the way down. So that's one of the letters. So remember, cursive is like one big long string that you're creating with your pen. Okay, so let's start tracing down and up. Don't lift your pen. Come down straight, curve, back up. Nice and straight at the dash line and exit stroke. Okay, we got 3 more. You probably got this entrance stroke down, I bet. And now you have your U. And then check your hand. Your hand might be getting a little tired. Make sure you're not clenching your pen. Remember, you want to have it nice and soft so you could possibly take out the pen from your hand. If you're clenching, you're going to be wasting your hand muscles, so you won't be able to write very much. Your hand will get tired. You'll get frustrated. So you got to check your habits before they start being bad habits. We want good handwriting habits for our C is for cursive class. All right, last one. All right, so give yourself some space. You have the entrance stroke, curve up straight. Don't take off your pen. Keep it down on that paper. Curve down, back up straight. Nice and slow and controlled. Down, back up. Now for the W, you just want to make sure you have the same width for both. So you're kind of looking, when you do this curve, and kind of looking off to the left and then looking at that. It's a little tricky, but that's why we're practicing together. Okay, so continue your W's to the end of the page. You won't have too much space like the I's and the U's, but W's are definitely a wider letter of like the M we're going to get to in our next lesson. Okay, so the last 4 lines are just to help with connecting letters. Our last 4. Okay, so you can see the I's and the U's. It's hard to see in between the U's. That would be your U. There's your U. So I can't think of a word that has 2 U's next to it in English. Maybe other languages have it. So U's are kind of harder to see because it just looks like you're continuing to do the undercurve, 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 right? So you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to trace over mine. When you get to the end, you're just going to continue on, and continue on, and continue on, continue on. And then maybe when you get to the end, you can come back and do your dots. So that's what usually happens for cursive, as you just, when you finish your word, you go back and you do your dots. So you're going to have a dot for your I and a dot for your J. So kind of get used to that. I know when we would print letters, you just would do, you know, your vertical line and then dot your I. So usually after you write the whole word, you can dot your I. Okay, same thing with you. Use that same pattern. It's just like the I, but you don't dot at the end. And then our W's. So this one, remember I just said earlier, your exit stroke stays up, and then another W, exit stroke stays up. And then your best challenge for today is going to be all 3 together. So you're going to try your I, your U, your W, and then start your I again. Okay, so I feel like we did a pretty good job of accomplishing our goal number 6 of writing our letters I, U, and W. You're going to continue on definitely the worksheet. Make sure you continue to the end. If you're still not staying within that bottom line and the dash line, you might want to print another one off and continue to practice the tracing for the muscle memory, and then your own. And just keep writing slow. If you're really struggling, write slow, because the slower you go, the better you can control. Okay, so I want you to keep practicing, and remember, it's progress over perfection.